Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster. Welcome you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. As a matter of fact, this is our first edition of the winter segment of our program. We've got two outstanding coaches tonight. We're going to be representing a championship football coach and also recognizing an outstanding basketball coach. This basketball season is it's already started. They're fixing to get into the area play, already playing a lot of tournaments and non-area games. So basketball season is upon us. Of course, we'll be having basketball coaches, boys and girls, wrestling coaches, indoor track. But as we get our winter season started, first of all, it's a very busy time of the year. As a matter of fact, like I said, we've already had one championship football coach crowned. We'll be visiting with him and some of his players a little bit later. But we've got 4 teams here in the Birmingham area, all being in the championship round starting next week. And of course, the first team we'd be talking about is the Spain Park Jags. They're in Class 7A, Clay Choplin in Class 6A, Mortimer Jordan in Class 5A, and of course Leeds in Class 4A. So that's going to be 4 championship games that will be taking place this week. And as always, the Birmingham area, Birmingham-Jefferson County area, very well represented with all these outstanding teams and coaches. And as we talked about earlier, it's also getting into being our winter segment where we'll have basketball coaches, both men and women, wrestlers, and indoor track. So, folks, we got a busy season coming up, the winter segment of our program we're talking about. We look forward to getting it started in just a few moments, and we'll do that. You take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa. The amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course. Miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective. And folks, welcome back. And in the first segment, as we were talking about, we're going to be recognizing a championship coach. And of course, we're talking about Coach Josh Wright of Bessemer Academy. Coach, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
And congratulations, another title.
Oh, thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, for Bessemer Academy, and since 2002, that's y'all's 6th championship. And I believe it's your 2nd.
Yes, sir.
And so y'all just keep rolling. You got a great program down there, and you coaches do a great job. But coaches, we get into this segment. First of all, for people that might be seeing you for the first time, tell us a little bit about your background, how you ended up being the head coach there at Bessemer Academy.
Well, I grew up, my father was a football coach, my uncles were. I grew up in Pickens County, Alabama, attended Pickens Academy. My father was the coach there for 17 years. He's now a superintendent in Mississippi, but got into that. and was fortunate enough to be a student coach with Coach Bobby Johns at University of West Alabama for a year, and then I was a student coach and a graduate assistant at Jacksonville State University under Jack Crow for about 4 years, and went back and was assistant coach for my father and for 4 years, and Coach Freeman, I was fortunate enough to coach under him for 1 year, and when he left, and I got the job at Bessemer Academy and been there for 9 years, but 8 as the head coach.
Well, and I tell you what, it's been a very successful run for you thus far. And let's talk about this year's team in particular. Of course, you win your second championship, but going into the season, did you think that this was a team that had the makeup, the athletes that it would take to win a championship?
Well, I did. We had a very talented group. You know, the biggest question was, would they all play together? Would they take on the team concept? Because a lot of times when you have a lot of good players, you know, it's me, it's you know, and we didn't have that. I mean, it was a bunch of guys that are, you know, from different areas, but they all come together and you know, had one common goal, and to win, and to you know, to help each other, to make each other shine, and. You know, we had a good offensive line, defensive line, defense, our secondary. I mean, we were solid everywhere. And we were, you know, the good Lord was good to us. We stayed mostly injury-free. Even though we did lose 3 kids for the year, we had good depth. And we had some early games where we were tested. And, you know, I think we grew from that. And we're fortunate to get out of there with a win, but learned a lot, and we were playing our best at the end of the year.
And Coach, I think that's every head coach's dream or goal, is to have his team peaking come playoff time, especially if he has a good team. Let's talk about your particular philosophy when it comes to coaching. Are you the kind of coach that you want to run the football primarily, or you want to throw it primarily? And I know it's all predicated, it all starts with the offensive and defensive lines.
Right.
I understand that. But are you the kind of coach that you want to maybe fit your athletes into what you want to do? Or are you the kind of coach that sometimes your strong suit from your skill players in particular may be something you'd rather not do, but in order to maximize what they can do as an individual and as a team, you give in a little bit. Talk about your.
Well, I think if anybody watched us this year, we were multiple. I mean, we could do some 21 personnel. You know, we had the lineman, the fullback, the tight end, which sometimes we don't. We were mostly a 10 personnel team with 4 wide running backs, but we were fortunate enough that we had guys that could play slot receiver that could play running back, so we could get in different formations. We had a quarterback that could throw. You know, so it was easy this year, you know, because whatever you wanted to do, you know, the guys, they knew how to do it, and you felt confident in it. You know, I mean, I've been in situations before where we've had to change our offense to go with what our strengths were. If your quarterback cannot throw, I mean, if you don't have the receivers, or one year we didn't have running backs, so we had to throw it every play. Right. So, or if your offensive line, you know, if you can't blow people off the ball and everything's quick game stuff or screens, you know, I mean, it's just but this year we were very fortunate to have a lot of guys that could do a lot of things.
And I was going to say too, from the flip side, going over to the defensive side of the football, if you got a good defensive unit, then your team is in every ball game.
Right.
Your team doesn't fall behind by much. If they are behind, the defense always gives the offense a chance to get their game going, so to speak. Depth-wise, do you have many players that have to go both ways, or are you fortunate to minimize that?
Well, we had actually about 4 that went both ways, but we subbed out a lot on offense. We had enough depth where we played 10 to 11 defensive linemen this year, and it really didn't fall off. And in the secondary, you know, we had a couple of injuries, but we had guys that could rotate that were playing receiver too. So that really kept us fresh. It kept the, you know, plays down on each kid, you know, made them play at 100%, when they're out there, you know. And we had a lot of guys that could spell them on special teams also.
Well, I know, Coach, a lot of your success is predicated by the relationship you not only have with the higher-ups in the school and in the Board of Education, but the community as well. Talk about the support you have from your fans, your community, and how that has helped you and your program be so successful.
Well, it was great this year. I mean, you know, the support that we had, like you said, from our teachers, our administration, our board of directors, but also our parents. You know, I mean, I go through, I know a lot of coaches don't, but I've been there 8 years and I've probably had 2 or 3 parent conferences. You know, and I mean, some people have that on a night.
Right.
So, and I think a lot of it is, you know, you know, to send your kid to a private school, you're making a sacrifice. And, you know, when you're dealing with people's kids and their money,
right,
it's a double-edged sword. So, but, you know, it's a lot of good people there. A lot, you know, and the kids are great. And we just, you know, we just don't have a lot of problems, you know, and not that we don't.
Right,
and I'm not saying that, but it's almost, you know, and with that being said, the community is, you know, we're not, I wouldn't say a real community, because we got people from everywhere and all over, you know, from Tuscaloosa County to Bibb County to, you know, Jefferson County to Shelby County. And it's different. It's fun to see the different ways of life. You know, it's not a lot of cliques. You know, everybody just kind of one common goal there, and just to be the best we can.
Well, I tell you what, Coach. First of all, awfully good to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, congratulations. Those
Thank you.
Championships, not everybody has them.
Right.
And you've got multiple championships there. We wish you good luck in the future. Awfully good to see you, and we'll look forward to seeing you further down the road, okay?
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, 3 gentlemen played a very instrumental part in the success of Bessemer Academy's season this year. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. And in this segment, as you can tell, I got 3 outstanding young athletes sitting up here, and they're champions. Like I said, they won the Class 3A championship at Bessemer Academy with a perfect record, 13-0, right, guys? Yes, sir. And sitting closest to me, Logan Burnett, a senior, the quarterback. And then next to him, Noah Wilder, junior linebacker. And in the center there, Brody Metters, a senior. And you're the cornerback, running back, versatile athlete, yes, right? Sir. Okay. Well, Logan, going into this year being a senior, did you, and I'll ask you the same thing I asked the coach, did you think you had, you and your teammates had the ability to put together the type season y'all put together?
Yes, sir. Coming in, we had a lot, we could tell we had a lot of great athletes, a lot of great ball players, and God really has brought us in together all at a great time, and we could just tell we had depth, we had size, we had speed, athleticism, and skill. So It looks promising coming in.
So then all y'all had to do was go out there and do your job, right?
Yes, sir.
Noah, one thing that the coach hit on just a little bit, and I like to talk to young athletes about it, is one of the things that made y'all so successful, was the fact there was good team chemistry. Now, chemistry is a funny thing. If you all like each other and don't have inner squabbles and that kind of thing, you can not only become better individuals, you become better as a team. So with that aspect in mind, Noah, talk about that chemistry aspect from y'all's team.
Well, I felt like we always got along, like Logan said. And we always, whenever you saw one of us, you saw the whole thing.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're not going to get in much trouble that way if you got a lot of your teammates around, are you? But that's good. Brody, going into this year, you being a two-way player, like I talked about, cornerback, running back, you prefer offense or defense?
Oh, I'm a defensive guy. I like hitting people.
Really?
I don't like to.
Well, now I like somebody that comes right out and is honest about it, because I'll have some players that they're on the offensive side and they'll tell me, Snapper, every once in a while I wish I could pop somebody instead of getting popped, you know. Well, who have you, and I know y'all probably from year to year have teams that you look forward to playing, and who, was any team like that was your biggest rival, I guess you'd say?
This year at Scambia Academy, definitely, because of losing to them last year in the state championship, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the kind of thing, too, that gives you motivation not to let that happen again, right? Logan, one thing I want to ask you, being the quarterback and the guy that starts everything, talk about your game a little bit. Are you better running or a better thrower? Or do you like running or throwing better? Talk about your game.
I definitely like to sit in the pocket and dish it out to the guys that can make some plays. I don't run it too well, so I like to give it to the guys that can run a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it sounds like your best friends, that offensive line.
Oh, definitely. They did a great job this year. Great job. I think I was only sacked 4 or 5 times all year.
Well, that is pretty outstanding. Well, one thing I like to ask the athletes as well, too, being a quarterback, now I'd be curious what you're going to say. Well, what college player or pro player do you see that you think, my goodness, I'd like my game to be like that one day? Who would that?
Growing up, I always loved Chris Todd. I grew up really close to him. My dad coached him in high school in Kentucky, and he was who I looked up to and wanted to emulate growing up. So I loved watching his game and seeing him from high school, and then going to Texas Tech and then transferring, ended up being at Auburn, watching him. It was a great experience watching him. But now I love watching Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, well, I tell you what, that's one of the top guys, if not the top guy to play his position and throughout professional football. Noah, how about you? Being a linebacker, then I don't have to worry about it. I know you like to hit people.
Yes, sir.
Are you a middle linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you take on all comers, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if I saw your game and I saw you play a middle linebacker, who would I say? Gosh, Noah reminds me of so and so. Who would that be?
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm looking at you right now, and one thing I think, there's 2 things you probably have at your linebacker spot, and I'm only saying this because of your size: quickness and speed. You got to be quick, and you got to be a pretty speedy guy, because I don't see a big guy. I didn't say you want a tough guy. It takes a tough guy to play middle linebacker. But if is there a college player or a pro player at linebacker?
I really enjoy watching Luke Kuechly for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, I've seen that guy a couple of years, and I find it hard to believe he's as good as he is. I mean, he's just one of these guys that seems to make all the right plays at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds you of somebody we know and love, right?
Yes, sir. He gets after it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Brody, you prefer the defensive side of football, right? So you want to be a big hitter.
That's right.
Who in the college game or pro game?
Ray Lewis.
Oh, my goodness.
He had such an impact on his team.
I'd hate to see you coming. If I got through that hole and saw you, I'd just hit the ground. So there's no reason to take a hit.
He's a natural leader, and he really helped them guys to get the job done.
Yeah. I tell you what, guys, let's get away from the football field just a second and find out something a little bit personal about you. And the question I want to ask you, if there was something that I didn't know about you, or maybe some of your friends don't even know about you, Logan, what would it be about you?
I love to go thrift shopping. I love to go to thrift stores and go through all the older clothes and find stuff from the 80s and 90s that I could wear. Like this morning I wore an Indiana University jumpsuit I got at the thrift store.
Really?
So I just love going to thrift stores and looking through the old stuff like that.
Well, let me tell you, there ain't nothing wrong with that, because one of my favorite places to take my little granddaughter is the Dollar Tree, because she can get 4 or 5 things for $1, but yet she thinks she's hit the mother lode. So I love that. That's a good thing. How about you, Noah?
Like you said, I love music.
Music?
Yes, sir. I love Eric Church.
All right.
He's my favorite country singer.
You're a country singer?
No, I just like listening to it.
Oh, you do?
Yes, sir. I can't sing.
Oh, you can't sing a lick, but you love to listen to it?
I love listening to it.
But you was country before country was cool, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how about you, Brody?
Well, I guess I'm kind of a boring guy because this is really hard for me, but I've always grown up wanting to be an actor. So I like learning about movies and how they're made and stuff like that, how they're set up.
Well, you know what? Every actor started somewhere. You know, and they were nobodies that became somebodies, and I don't mean that in an ugly way. I mean, you are somebody. You're a state championship football player. But if you want to act one day, hey, it may be there. You never can tell. Gomer Pyle got his start somewhere. Do you even know who that is?
Who was it?
Gomer Pyle.
No,
yeah, Andy and Mayberry. Forget that.
Yeah.
This is a whole different generation, folks. Coach over there says, gosh, I can't believe they ain't seen that, because I know Coach knows what we're talking about. But guys, I tell you what, Logan, where do you hope to go to college?
I really don't know. I'm keeping my options open, praying about it a lot. I know God's going to lead me in the right direction. I'm just trying to figure it out, trying to wait it out and see where he leads me.
Okay. Brody, you know where you're going being a senior?
I'm working on my size. I know I'm a little undersized. Most colleges are probably looking for a bigger person, but definitely Jacksonville State.
Oh, okay. And so, Noah, that means you got another year to think about that,
Yes, sir.
okay? But this is the one last question I'm going to ask you guys as we close out this segment. To this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? We'll start with you, Logan.
My dad. He's always just been a big impact in my life. Showed me how to live right. Showed me how to live like Christ. Showed me how to be a leader on and off the field. And he's been a big impact in my life.
Good for you. Noah?
I actually have 2, my mom and my dad.
Okay.
You know, my mom's always there to pick me up when I'm down, and my dad's always taught me how to never give up.
Good.
And I thank him for that.
How about you, Brody?
I'm going to go with what Noah said. They're always there to make sure I give it my best effort and push further than I need to. Go forward, go further than my goal.
Well, I tell you what, guys, you've attained a great goal already. You're state champions. Congratulations. And good luck next year for
Yes,
you
sir.
as far as football is concerned and you guys at college, okay?
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to change sports, so don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Coach, welcome back. As we talked about in this segment, we're going to be visiting with our first basketball coach of the season. Of course, we're talking about Chris Love, and Coach, good to see you.
Thanks, Nick.
He is the boys basketball coach at Oak Mountain. As Coach, we get this interview started, tell us a little bit about your background and what has led you to being the head basketball coach there at Oak Mountain.
Well, Oak Mountain opened in 1999, and I came over from Chelsea. I was the head basketball coach at Chelsea, and came over, had some good friends that were coming to Oak Mountain, and decided to go with them. So I've been at Oak Mountain since we've been a school. This is our 17th year as a school.
Wow.
And first 10 years was assistant football, assistant basketball, and then these last 7 I've been the head basketball.
Well, now going into talking about your position as head basketball coach, every basketball coach has his own style, and what I mean by that, he has the type brand basketball he wants to play, where it's defensive minded or up tempo on the offense, or you are strategized by going down the court, not full bore, but going down and setting up and running your plays and this and that and other. And most of the time, a coach's style is predicated on the athletes he's got. Now, you may have some athletes that can do exactly what you want them to do. That's their strong suit, or it may not be. Right. So what my question to you is, talk about what your style is, and then how do you work with that within the parameters of your players? Do you bend when you have to go to their strengths, or do you want them to bend as best they can to play the type ball that you want them to play?
Well, I think at the high school level, I think you have to bend towards what best fits them. I think you got to be able to do 2 things. I think to be successful, I think you've got to be able to defend and rebound the basketball. So I think regardless of whether you're up tempo or not, we're always going to focus on those 2 things. And then, we've had our years where we've been maybe, I guess, a little bit more slow down and felt like that we needed to shorten the game.
Right.
And then we've had our years where we feel like we can push the ball a little bit more, maybe shoot the ball a little bit quicker. This year we've got a lot of kids that can shoot the basketball. We probably go 10, 11 deep of kids that can make shots. So we feel like this year, we're probably a little bit more up tempo, but at the same time, we want to make sure we get a quality shot every time down the floor. So I guess to answer your question, you have to bend a little bit, but at the same time, to win championships, you better be able to defend and rebound.
Well, it sounds like you've been in coaching quite a few years.
Yes,
and we'll say in the last 20 years, how much has the current athlete changed from that athlete 20 or 25 years ago?
I think it's changed a lot. I think the game of basketball has changed a lot. I think that it's much faster of a game. It's much quicker of a game. It's much more up and down the floor. And I think part of that is because the dribbling of the basketball has become more of an emphasis with the dribble drive offense and motion and those sorts of things. So the game has changed. I think the athletes have changed somewhat in that they're probably a little more skilled now because of people getting personalized coaching outside of the normal season, and people, picking one sport, which I kind of hate to see, and just focusing on that sport year round. So maybe a little bit more skilled. But I think other than that, there's probably not a whole lot of difference.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, and I played basketball for years, and the one thing that I have seen, but I grant you now I'm a lot older than you, so we'd be talking about a few years further back, but the thing that I see in today's young athlete, the one thing that disappoints me more than anything else, because I've got grandsons that play now and that play football and basketball, and on the basketball side of it, the thing that really irritates me, and I wonder about you, is when a kid steps up to that free throw line, nobody guarding him, all he's got to do is just concentrate and shoot, and they throw up more bricks than the law ought to allow at the free throw line.
Yeah. I think that because the game has become a little bit more up and down, a little bit quicker, I think that for young people, the big play in the game is being able to dunk a basketball. Yeah. We tell our kids all the time that's that's maybe going to happen if you're lucky, maybe once or twice a game to have that opportunity. And you've got all those free throws and all those other shots that are going to happen that you need to be working on.
Right.
So I think that for whatever reason, that's kind of the glorified part of basketball is the dunk, and I think they enjoy working on that more than they do their shot.
I'm sure they do, but you being a coach and a player in the past, I'm sure you understand that don't take those free throws for granted.
Oh,
One,
absolutely.
you're not being guarded,
Absolutely.
and it's the easiest point you're ever going to make.
Absolutely.
But back used to a long time, we'd have to shoot 25, 50 more free
Right.
throws at every practice and all that kind of stuff.
Right, right.
So you've seen that the kids, like you say, get away from it a little more, even though they're more athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like everybody's looking for the highlight
Yeah,
reel.
that's right.
Instead
That's
of
right.
taking care of the basketball.
Yeah.
Do you see your team, you're off to a pretty good start. Like you said, it's probably going to be the first of the year since you'll see the area teams that you will determine whether or not you make a playoff or not. Does this team, from what you've seen from it so far, do you think it has the capability maybe of being a playoff team toward the end of the season?
Oh, absolutely. I think our kids believe that. I know they believe that, and I know that our coaching staff does. We've got 8 players returning from last year that played valuable minutes for us. So we've got a lot of experience. We've got great leadership from our seniors and some of those guys you'll be talking to in a second. And you know, we played an unbelievably tough schedule last year. People don't rank high school basketball schedules, but I would think ours was probably the toughest in the state. We play another tough schedule this year. So we've played some good basketball teams, and we felt like we held our own last year. And this year we feel like we can take that next step and beat some good people.
Well, here's the thing too, and I believe you probably feel this way too, Coach, that you'd rather see your team lose to a quality opponent than beat up on one that may not be very good, for the simple reason you don't learn anything from that win, where a lot of times a tough loss, it makes you stronger. You may not realize it that night, but you might become a better player, better team for that.
Oh, absolutely.
And like you say, I guess you're like all coaches. You hope the one thing that your team does do is progress during the season and end up being the best they can be come playoff time.
Right. That's what we talk about all the time with our kids. Is that when we get to January, when we start playing our area games, we want to. That's what November, December is for. We want to get better every day, win, lose, or draw, and then we. You know, hopefully when we get to the 1st of February and we're getting into the area tournament, hopefully we're peaking at the right time and playing our best basketball.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, awfully good to see you. The meat of your schedule, the old saying goes, is still ahead of you.
Yes, sir.
You're going to find out what you got. Maybe it'll be a playoff team. Hope so.
Yes, sir.
Hope to see you in the playoffs later this year.
All right. Thanks, Snapper.
We'll take a quick break. We come back. 4 young men that are going to play a big, big part in what type of season Oak Mountain has. We'll be right back. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back in this segment. As you can tell, I got 4 outstanding young athletes from the Oak Mountain basketball team. Sitting and standing closest to me is Peyton Youngblood, a senior, and Peyton's a forward. Warren Shader, a senior, he's a guard. Gabe Haynes, here, you are a senior and a guard. And Wyatt Armstrong, a senior and a guard as well. Okay, guys, going into this year, Peyton, I'll start off with you. Going into this season, you guys are 5-2 now, and Coach was telling me you're probably going to be playing your first area game right after Christmas, first of the year. So I know you play about 6 games that will determine whether or not y'all will be in playoffs later this season. So between now and then, all these games that y'all are playing are very important. Going into this season of basketball, Peyton, did you think that you're off to a 5-2 start? Does that surprise you at all? Do you think you should be better or what?
It does not. We came back this year with a lot of experience, which I think I helped a lot. Our area was very good last year. It's still going to be good this year, but I would say the competition level is not as good as last year, but the experience really helps a lot, us being able to shoot the three. So I think I expected this 100%.
Well, now I know, Warren, being a guard, you got to be a shooter. Do you prefer scoring, or are there some guys from the guard position that like to shut other people down? You like the defensive part of it, or you like the offensive part better?
I like offense, but if my role is defense, I'll play the role and whatever I have to do. So whatever the game plan is, I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, now let me ask you this. I like to ask players, do you guys have a rival that you enjoy looking at on the schedule and say, oh, this is who I want to play? Who would that one rival be for you?
Definitely Spain Park, yes, sir.
Right.
Just big rival for us.
Yeah, they just next door. They're almost a stone's throw away, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a big game for y'all. Gabe, being a senior, going into this year, tell me what you expect out of yourself as an individual this year, and what you want for your team to accomplish.
I'm just hoping to play the best of my abilities, to do whatever I need to do to help the team be successful. And I'm expecting big things out of our team. You know, we've worked hard all spring and all summer, and we practice every day to get better, and I'm just expecting a big season from us.
Well, I know that, but the coach talked about this, the coach and I did, but I want to ask you about it too. Are you one of these guys that you enjoy playing the tougher competition, win or lose, or do you enjoy playing a game, and every once in a while they're okay where you run the score up on people, but you know they're not that good, and you might not grow from that? How do you feel about that?
Definitely enjoy playing tougher competition. It's an opportunity for us to get better, and it's exciting. The challenge is exciting, and so definitely tougher competition.
Okay. Now, Wyatt, you're a guard as well. What is your strong suit? Is it defense or scoring?
I'd definitely say it was scoring.
Good.
And the offseason, this past offseason, I had to work on my defense just because that's where Coach needs me to work.
Well, and I tell you this, Coach pointed out that y'all seem to have a pretty good shooting team. And if you do good shooters, that means there's a lot of threes out there, right? They'll either put you in ball games or put you out of ball games if you're not hot that night, right? Peyton, if there was one pro player or college player that you could emulate your game after, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's see. I am a forward, so I'll get down there in the paint. I do enjoy scoring. I like to be able to bring that post player out on the perimeter and drive it or shoot over him. So I guess, I don't know. I guess Kevin Durant, I suppose. Being length, it helps being able to shoot over the smaller guys, but also being able to get in the post and
Peyton, let me tell you this.
Whatever.
If you're this close to him, you're going to be a superstar. You know that? That's good. That's a good role model, I guarantee you. Warren, how about you?
That's a good one. I'd have to go with John Wall.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, scoring machine for a guard.
For sure.
We're not going to worry about defense. We're going to score and see if we can outscore our man, right?
Right.
Gabe, how about you?
For me, my favorite player is probably Kyrie Irving, but two players that I really like to try to model myself after is James Harden and Paul George. I like them a lot.
Well, I tell you what, any of the guys you named, that's a pretty good guy to pattern yourself after. How about you, Wyatt?
I'd probably say Klay Thompson.
Good.
He can shoot pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, hard worker on defense, too. All right. Guys, I haven't met y'all for the first time tonight. One question I enjoy asking young athletes is what is it about you? The one thing, whether it be a superstition or a hobby you might have, that I wouldn't know about, and that maybe not many people know about, whether it's writing poetry, should that be it? You know, big husky guys like y'all writing, or singing in the shower. We're top 10 makers until they turn the shower on, and we know what we sound like, right? So you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Peyton, what would it be about you?
I do superstitious stuff. I don't believe in it, but I still do it just because I'm an athlete, and it started last year during football season. Of course, we had the good long season, 10-2.
Yeah, you did.
And so the clock in my car is actually fast. It's 4 minutes early. And so I was going to change it, and we'd win. I said, all right, I'll change it. I'll change it next week. It must have been good luck, and we win and win. And so it just kept on going. So that's my superstition. I keep the clock in my car 4 minutes.
Well,
4
let me
minutes
tell you
fast.
what, this is going to make you feel good. I keep my bedside clock 4 hours fast. When I wake up in the middle of the night and it says 2, I know it's just 10. I got a lot more sleep time, so I know where you're coming from. All right, Warren, how about you?
Well, you brought up singing in the shower, and
Oh,
I
I
always
sure did.
I got some music in the shower room, in the bathroom, and I'm always playing that every morning. You know, I like some Adele.
Really?
Right now, she's on fire right now, and some Justin Bieber.
Yeah, well, is that kind of stuff, it's got to wake you up instead of putting you to sleep.
It's got to wake me up.
It does.
It's a good beat.
You wake up running, right? Forget
Running.
the walking
Running
part.
out the doors.
Okay, how about you, Gabe?
Not too much for the singing, but I do enjoy listening to music. I kind of like to dance.
Really?
Yes, I listen to music.
Well, have you ever thought about dancing on the stars?
No, sir.
You know, you never know. You never know. How about you, Wyatt?
My number is 5, so just something I've been doing since I was little. I've put $5 in my left sock. Just have that every game.
Really?
What?
Well, no, that's a superstition. You're right. That's something we wouldn't know much about. All right, guys, all of your seniors, this is a very important question. To this point in your lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Peyton.
I'd have to just go with coaches in general. Coaches, especially high school coaches, just the amount of time and effort you put with them. You learn a lot from them, you learn a lot about them, and so they help push you, help you reach goals you want to achieve, and they're just there for you.
Yeah, what I think about the coaches is such a great thing. They help you in your sports, but they help you prepare for life after high school, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Warren, how about you, buddy?
I'd have to go with the same thing. And that's just, they teach us every day. They give us so much time. They're always there for us if we need to call them, and they have open doors for us whenever we need them.
Well, good for you guys. Gabe?
I'd have to say my grandfather. He was a collegiate athlete, and he's a big role model of mine. He actually he was in the Olympics. So.
Really? Oh, okay, well, terrific. How about you, Wyatt?
I'd actually say my mom, just because she's helped me through everything and just always supported me. So she's just always been there for me.
Well, and of course, we all know it goes without saying, all of our parents are there for us, and we appreciate that. Best of luck to you. You're all seniors, and wherever you go, whatever school you go to, good luck in your careers, but enjoy this last part of your senior season, okay? Thanks for coming by. Folks, we've had a great night, great coaches, great guests. So next week, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.